Today I'm streaming a beta test of the project I've been working on, which is an organizer for RPG stuff. And so that's what we're gonna do today. And so I have a little campaign set up for James. We're gonna get that going, and so he'll have to make a character first. I mean, I'm not sponsored by Gatorade, but you can say whatever you want in terms of your legal responsibilities. Okay, so we are now in the campaign, so we want to make a new character. So what is your name? Swaggins. Okay. That's correct, yes. Okay, so now there's a bunch of different races and a bunch of different classes. I think you've taken a look at them before, but I can scroll through because you haven't seen the stats of them yet. Um, so there first is the Doofian race, which is a dynamic human race, very even across the board in terms of stats. The second is the Snootian race, which is a proud elven race. They have a little bit more in the magic, hunting, and deduction departments, whereas they are lacking in some others. Um, there's the Slithian race, which is a powerful reptilian race, more in terms of attack, defense, strength, and the combat-oriented um, uh, stats. There's the Gorbian race, which is a stout Dwarven race, and as most Dwarven races are, they're well built and good at building. Um, there's the Edian race, which is a small, spry, magical fairy, and as a magical fairy would, the stats are focused in magic and agility because they're small, but there's a lot less in the other stats. By the way, when you see that there's nothing here, that's not including your base stats. The base stats are randomly rolled, and just 1 through 5 in all categories. And but health base is always 10 to start without any bonuses, so it's not like you're gonna just die if you don't have any health. Um, oh, not yes. Then the Browian race, which is a feline race, more on the agile, hunting and attack department. Um, the Kaz race is a intelligent demonic race, and there's a dog barking. Um, and there's the Goobian race, which is a small, crafty, kind of gnome-like race, and finally the Florian race, which is plant-like. So, do you have anything in mind that you want to be? All right. So we'll go back to Slith. Yes. So then we have to pick a class. So there's the Light Knight, which is more focused in defense. There's the Dark Knight, which is more focused in attack. There's the Mage, which is obviously more focused in magic, but has some deduction and charisma. There's the Rogue, which is crafty, good at talking, agile, kind of smart. The Hunter, which is good at crafting and hunting and ranged attacks, as well as agility. The Tank, which is pretty self-explanatory, is good at defense and strength, as well as health. And the Bard, which is all in on charisma and agility. And commoner, which is everything except for magic, but it's all very even. I think that's it. Nope, the artisan, which is good at crafting, has some strength and intelligence. So, oh, and I keep forgetting there's more classes. There's a cleric, which is similar to a mage in the fact that it's magic, but it's also um, defense and health oriented. So it's kind of like the tank of the. That could be completely shitting on the normal D&D lore of how stats go, but yeah. Mhm. So it was more like wizard, but can take a punch, and yeah, yeah. So that's all the classes. So do you have one in mind? Okay. Um, yes. Okay. On a scale from -1 to 100, -100 to 100, with -100 being completely male and 100 being completely female, how would you describe your gender? -95. This really doesn't play into anything except for possible storytelling. Um, on a scale from -100 to 100, with -100 being completely male and 100 being completely female, how would you describe who you are attracted to? 97. Yes. How would you describe the magnitude of your attraction on a scale from 0 to 100? 37. Okay, and then for the normal D&D stuff, from -100 being chaotic and 100 being lawful. 43. Yes. And then -100 being evil and 100 being good. Right down the middle. Okay. So, we can go look. I have to add you to the party. I see. Uh, oh, I'm already messing up my commands. I have performance anxiety. Mac. I was it with a K or with no K? Swag. Yeah, I don't know. It's a fantasy world. You can have a K. So Max Swaggins joins the party. Okay. Um, After a long night of presumed partying, you awaken in a cold cell. Uh, that's the start. Uh, the oh, the goal of this is you're trying to escape the prison. That's the goal. Okay, so this is good. Oh, we didn't check what your roles were. That might be nice to know. Um, so these aren't necessarily. Oh yeah, yeah. These will be your total. And the way that this works in terms of how I have it set up is that uh, the what's it called? Uh, these are the levels you're starting with, but you can gain levels, and based off of what race and class you took, it may be easier to gain levels than not, based off of what you do. So I have to remember to give you XP when you do things. So yeah, on your base stats, you actually rolled well in attack and range and defense, which is amazing for the fact that you picked Slithian. So, but then you got one charisma, and then you didn't go with any charisma from anything else, and you don't have the most deduction. So, so reach is like how close you need to be to use physical attacks, and then range is obviously long range attacks like throwing or using bows and stuff. Um, okay, so you look around and you see that there is a in the cell there is a small uncomfortable cot, a smelly bucket in the corner. The cell is relatively closed off, other than the bars at the front, and there is a small window, but almost no light comes through. With there's bars on the windows. You know that it's just the local prison from where you were partying. I forgot to give you your goal, your purpose. You gotta break out because your mom is moving from one place to another, and you have to help her move her stuff. There is a guard that seems to be making his rounds back and forth, and and that's all you can really see from yourself. You do get the guard's attention, but it seems the guard is not too interested in helping you. The guard does come over to the cell and just kind of tries to check out what's going on. The guard suddenly freaks out and starts frantically running to the front of the prison in search of medical attention. I feel like I should get to the point where I can describe what's happening. So, what did you say you just did? It's like a small cot. It's just, I mean, essentially that's what it is. It's not like sheets or anything. It's just a place to sleep on that's elevated. Oh, no wonder it doesn't work. I spelled doctor wrong. I didn't spell it wrong there. So the guard comes back with a what looks to be a female Snootian cleric who appears to be in healing attire. So the cleric seems to roll her eyes a bit at your rolling around, but the guard, in his franticness, starts to open the prison cell to let the doctor in. It's more of a quick open and then letting the doctor in and then closing again. Oh wait, I gotta. Oh, there's so many things that need to happen now. Hold on. Because I can add the bucket to your inventory, and then you can equip it and then attack with. You're attacking her with the bucket. All right. You make a decently clean hit, and you do 4 damage. Let me see what that means. Character, doctor, stats, total, all. Nah, she's good. Ignore those. So obviously taken back by the blow, she decides to attack with a small magic spell to subdue. Well, you are. So you're currently unable to move on the cot, and the doctor exits the cell to recollect herself. So it will only take a few minutes for the spell's effect to wear off. But in that time, the cell has been locked again, and the guard is back to his patrolling. Can you not hear James? Oh my god, they couldn't hear James the whole time. Because desktop audio isn't on. Say something.
Hi, I'm
Great.
James, and I like warm hugs.
Alright, let's recap what happened. So, James woke up in a prison cell after a long night of partying. Also, I can see on the screen that there's a lot of weird static things of my mouse moving back and forth, but we're going to ignore that. And he is a Slithian Dark Knight who partied too hard, but he has to go help his mom move, so he needs to break out of this prison. There's a guard that's walking around, and he convinced the guard to come into the cell in order to... he convinced the guard to go get a doctor because he was pretending to be in pain and throwing up. Oh, he was actually throwing up.
I actually made myself throw up.
Yeah. And then the doctor came into the cell, he attacked the doctor, and dealt 4 damage, but then the doctor just subdued him. So you prop the cot up against the... Can you explain what you're trying to do?
All right, so I'm gonna use the pronged legs of the cot, or the legs of the cot. I'm gonna get underneath the door with the lower bar, because every metal door has a lower bar running along the bottom. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, for stability. And I'm gonna kind of use it as a lever and pop it.
All right.
And it's gonna come up out of the hinges, because the hinges, it's the thingy on the thingy with the pole going down the middle. But if you pop it up, it'll come out of the whole thingy, and you can push it forward.
Sadly, the door isn't as new as it should be, and instead of staying together in order to pop out, the part that you latch on snaps off slightly and falls to the floor.
So do I have a rusty metal bar now?
Yes, you do.
I would like to equip that as a weapon.
Okay, you equipped the scrap metal.
All right. Did the cot survive this shenanigans?
The part that you wedged against the metal broke in the process, so now it's kind of like a leaning triangle thing.
Good thing there's another side. I'm going to flip it around, and is there another piece that looks like it could be broken off?
It does look like so it kind of split towards the middle of it. So like you know how you were saying the metal bar at the bottom?
Yeah.
So this is like you broke off half of it trying to wedge the door.
Well, I'm going to try to keep breaking it.
You're trying to break off the other part of it?
I am.
Okay, so you actually are able to... it looks like the door has come a little off of its hinge, but it does break off that last piece.
Can I can't get through the door yet, can I?
It's not like completely gone, but it's definitely loose.
I would like to shake it like Nick Kroll outside the White House saying "let me in," but saying "let me out."
Are you screaming? Is that what you're doing?
I am screaming. I gotta stay true to that one charisma.
Okay, luckily no one sees you're screaming, and you are able to jimmy the door off of the cell.
Which way did the guard go? Oh, my deduction is 3.
Yeah. Ooh. So... don't know why I roll anything other than 20, because that's just what I do every single time. um, you are able to see. You look around, entering the new environment. Oh no! I did break it. I'll remember that.
Do the code Alt F4.
Luckily, I can just load the campaign. Change.
Was there a blanket on that cot?
No, there was just like a wooden bench, like you said.
Dang, I was gonna have a cape.
Megan says, "What color cape?"
Well, it depends on what color. Oh, I don't. Apparently, I'm not good enough to get a blanket. You know, these cops are racist.
Oh, you came in drunk. You just fell asleep, man. That's fine.
Drunk people need blankets too, Jono.
Chelsea
sure you
says
got
no capes.
Edna Mo could. Sorry. Edna Mo doesn't exist in this universe.
So you enter into a corridor outside the cell. It's a U-shaped corridor, and you're down in the bottom left of the U. There are a few more cells on either wall, and you noticed that the guard has walked down the. So, like I said, you're at the bottom left. You can see the guard has walked down to the right, so is walking like horizontal.
I would like to try. Do I see anybody else? Like, is there anybody in any of the cells?
You can see that down towards the path that you've that the guard has just gone. There is one other person in the cell at the end of the hallway.
All right. Would stealth fall under agility, deduction, thievery?
I think it's kind of a combination of agility and the thievery.
All right. Well, if you average those together, I have an 8.5. Because my thievery sucks. All right. So I'm going to try to sneak up on the guard with my piece of scrap metal.
So the scrap metal, equipping the scrap metal, it's a boost to attack, but it's heavy, so it's lowering your agility a little bit.
That's fine.
Alright, so you're trying to sneak up on the guard.
Oh.
Yeah, so this should be updated because this is with you having stuff equipped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, my attack went up by 5.
Yes, because you have the metal equipped, and it also gives you a little bit of reach. You are able to get pretty close to the guard, but as you get closer, he can hear the noise of you creeping up and turns around.
I would like to attack him. Actually, what is the intimidation? Like, what would intimidation be?
That would be probably attack and charisma.
All right. I would like to try to intimidate him.
The intimidation just makes him kind of laugh at you.
Yeah.
And he starts to move closer to you with his short sword.
I hold my... I attack him with my scrap metal.
Oh no!
Oh. Ah.
you just kind of yeet the metal over his shoulder, and it goes down the hallway. And then guard follows with a short blow to the shoulder with the short sword, dealing 5 damage.
I suggest subtract that from my health, right?
Yeah.
It is now... Alright. I now have 5 health.
So it's your turn in the battle if you want to do something.
I do. I'd like to hit him with my tail.
Alright.
Actually, you know what? No, I'd rather tackle him.
So you're going to
Attempt
try
to
and
grapple, tackle.
him. Ooh, you successfully bring him to the ground, and in the process, you deal 3 damage.
I would like to hiss in his face as a bonus action.
Hold on. You hiss in the guard's face. Obviously, the guard isn't too happy about this, but the guard actually struggles back and forth, and in the process, pops his shoulder out of his socket, dealing 3 more damage.
Yay!
To himself.
I love dislocations. Was that his turn, or was that like a reaction?
Yeah, that was his turn.
Alright, have you seen Game of Thrones?
Not all of it.
Have you seen the one where the mountain fights the viper?
Nope.
I'm gonna stick my fingers in his eyes.
Alright.
So I'm gonna try to blind him with, like, stick my thumbs. Eyeballs.
It's like the Slipknot song. I push my fingers into my eyes.
Yes. My mother better appreciate this.
You're gonna just show up with blood all over your hands. Okay, so you attempt to squish his eyeballs with your hands. You miss, but you definitely deal some damage to his face, doing 2 more damage.
I would like to scream in his face, I just want to help my mother.
The scream doesn't really do anything for your situation, but it's noted.
I like to think it's helping my crazy persona.
The guard attempts to wiggle free and is unable to get free in the process, but is able to give you a small gash on the side, dealing 1 more damage.
Ah, does he look like he's close to death?
I'd say he's about halfway there.
Guess he's not living on a prayer.
Alright, I believe it's your turn.
I would like to try to take the short sword from him. Was the shoulder he dislocated his sword? Aww.
You attempt to grab the sword, but you just kind of grab it, like blade first, and even kind of stab yourself in the chest with it, dealing 2 more damage.
I'm not going to tell you how much health I have, but if you were a betting man,
I know you're close. You got
I'd have
3?
1/5 of my health left.
2. Oh yeah, because it was 1 and 2. Yeah.
I would like the song to played at my funeral to be Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay, so it's the guard's turn. And the guard is able to push you off, and being the knowing that you are in dire straits in terms of health, the guard decides to spare your life, but actually just puts you in a different cell. I'm tempted to say that's where it should end, because I feel like you should have died.
Oh, I absolutely should have died. Well, I played around with the idea of either going with the more well-rounded prison, because I didn't know what you told me something about the prison thing, but I probably should have gone with somebody who could talk their way out of it, as opposed to thinking I could fight my way out of a prison.
Well, I think being able to fight your way out was probably a good choice. I was probably a little bit conservative on the damage dealt, because you have a high attack, and I probably should have been Oh, I haven't been. I mean, it's a short campaign. I don't think the XP really matters too much, but I guess I would have given you XP if you killed something.
Yeah.
I think that might be good for now. I definitely need to practice, like explaining things while I'm doing the typing out, because I then there won't be as much dead space. And then uh, I also need to. I probably need to have like shortcuts to get to different things. Like obviously, like getting into the party stuff isn't too hard, but the way that I have it set up, it's kind of hierarchical. So there's the campaign, and then there's the party, and within the party there's characters, and within the characters there's items, moves, stats, all those kind of things. But the other way I could do it in terms of the menuing is I could have it so that the stats, like I could just say I want to edit stats, and then type in like that it's a character, that it's someone in the party, and then the name. Um, but I think the successful thing is it's tracking things well.
It is, yeah.
My thought is the cool thing about this is it's going to keep track of everybody's characters and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so like, let's say randomly a few people are able to play, then I can just load them in.
That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be down for this.
All right. Well, I'm gonna end the stream here. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'm gonna try and figure out how to make this a little bit smoother. But until then, I'll see ya.